Greetings, beloved VibAngels and FrequentSeers of sound, light, and love. Wayne Perry here with you again. It's a little preview of what we're going to do this Saturday on my weekly broadcast every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We've been doing these videos the last few weeks, so I hope you can tune in and join us at 6 p.m. This Saturday. And if you can't for some reason, the videos should still be available here on the page, the Sound Therapy Center of Los Angeles page. I usually post them on my timeline, Wayne Perry, and on Sound Therapy Center of Los Angeles, so you can catch up. This will be the 6th in the series. The first one I did is very important on brainwave entrainment, and how necessary and important it is, and how simple it is to understand and use in your sound therapy practices and sound healing and toning practices. And then we've talked about some of the other principles, some of the core key principles of sound therapy. We talked about moving from your attention to intention was another video that we did, and what else? There's been a number of them. The last one I did was probably the longest video I've ever done, and I'm not going to attempt to do that again, but I had so many requests to describe or illuminate the brain voice sound analysis, which we did last Saturday. And I didn't realize there were so many details, and I wanted to fill you in. I had a lot of questions and a lot of input from people that wanted to know what goes on in a diagnostic sound analysis, and I went over the details in great detail, so it was kind of a long video, but you can, if you want to learn about that process, it's very important, it's very vital. If you're interested in true sound healing and you're ready to move past the sound bath fad, which they're just doing relaxing sounds, they're not really regenerative healing sounds. I did a video on the 3 R's, the 3 types of sound, also a couple weeks ago, and my good friend and former student and former assistant, Ashley Neumeister, she did a little video a few days ago, or last Friday or something like that, on the 3 R's that I teach people regularly in my workshops and private sessions. It's important to understand the 3 types of sound. 3 R's, just quickly, the first R is relaxing sound, and that's what most people that call themselves sound healers that aren't professionals or certified are using, and they're not really healing unless you can determine a person's personal frequency pattern, and that can only be done in a diagnostic brain voice sound analysis with a certified sound therapist, which I highly recommend you doing if you're serious about learning sound therapy and using sound healing principles and exercises. Those of you that have my book, Sound Medicine, know how to do that. And I just finished a diagnostic sound analysis with a lady. Here's the book, by the way, Sound Medicine, which is easy to find. It's rated 5 stars on Amazon and different critic reviews. But it would be nice if you avoided the corporate process of sales and marketing and just get it from your local sound healer, Wayne Perry, on my website, wayneperry.com. Plus, there's a wealth of information. You can learn a lot from the, actually, it's got to be around 15 videos that you can peruse and learn a lot from for free on the video page. There's also the blog page that has a number of articles, some of which I've written, some that have been written about me or my work. There's a testimonial page if you want to see the benefits and rewards of the diagnostic sound analysis and my workshops and private sessions. There's a ton of testimonials from people all over the world. You know, my book was published in China 2 years ago, and I'm supposed to be there right now instead of here in my living room talking to you from the cloistered environment that we're all subject to these days. So instead of being in Taiwan, which I usually go to every March, people like wait in line to get a session with me, and I'm not able to see everybody. Here in Los Angeles, it's like you're never a star in your hometown. I usually have a lot more available time here because people have so many choices, perhaps. Or I don't know. I guess some of the people in other cities and countries as I travel the world, in England, Italy, Bulgaria, Japan, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Taiwan, those are some of the places I've been in just in the last couple of years that are very open-minded and open-hearted to use sound therapy. So I hope the Americans, particularly the Angelinos, get with the program and get a sound brain voice sound analysis for themselves, because it's so important to really do sound healing properly. You really need to know which frequencies you're weak in your brainwave pattern, and which ones you're strong in, and also which ones are blocked and are blocking your healing energy from manifesting with whatever energies you're putting into it. You really need to understand those three components of your sound content in your brainwave pattern. You have some frequencies that are strong and okay, and then you have some that are weak and need support with brainwave entrainment, which is very easy. It's the same way songs stick in our head that we hear, and why some songs go in one ear and out the other, and other songs stick and stay in our head. Not because songs are healing, because they're not, the way they're produced and recorded. With all the computer technology and digital technology, there's all the vibration, natural vibration is lost. But we use those principles in sound therapy to record things properly, all analog, direct to tape or live in a session or workshop, however we do it. I'll be coming online with some workshops soon. My next workshop is still on my events calendar, May 30th and 31st in Los Angeles. We have a few people signed up for it. We're still signing people up for it, and hopefully those that are brave enough to use the procedures outlined to keep your body alkaline, doing lots of lemons and apple cider vinegar and the things I've also talked about in some of the videos, ways to protect yourself so the virus can't exist, can't sustain in an all alkaline environment. So if you keep your body alkaline with alkaline water, and an easy way to do that, if you don't have an alkaline water machine or water filter, you can just get some alkaline drops for just $15 to $20 and put 3 drops in your drinking water, your juices, tea, coffee, anything that you drink, just put 3 drops and you're alkaline. And it really keeps your body and inside your digestive tract all alkaline, so viruses can't sustain or manifest. You can also use, I'm sure you may be aware of some of the other things that are being presented on Facebook and other social media. You can cut a lemon in 3 pieces and pour hot water, heat up some water, because, the virus thrives in cool and cold temperatures. So if you avoid too many cold liquids and, drink some warm or hot water in the morning, and then pour some hot water over a lemon cut into 3 pieces, and you can sip it throughout the day. That'll keep you very purified and alkaline. A lot of people think it's going to make you acidic because of citrus fruits, but it's not. The grapefruits and oranges are citrus fruits, but lemons and lime create a certain formula that's alkaline and can alkalize your body. So anyway, use some drops in your water and liquids, use some lemons, use apple cider vinegar. There's a lot of good information out there along with the false information. Hopefully you're using the good stuff to keep yourself clean and pure. We know about washing our hands and keeping the counters clean, and you can use alcohol and apple cider vinegar even for really cleaning your countertops and railings and glasses and whatever you touch. So the program. But anyway, I want to talk to you just a little bit about sound before I go, because this Saturday at 6 p.m. we're going to focus on the chakras. I had promised last week I was going to teach you the chakra chant and go over some of the chakra vowels and ways that you can use toning, and the ultimate healing instrument, which is sitting right under your nose. The human voice is really the ultimate healing instrument. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I've got tuning forks, and I've got 4 didgeridoos and bells and bowls and all sorts of good stuff, gongs. And these things are nice, and they can help a little bit if they're acoustic. You want to stay away from electronic instruments, even if they're tuned to the new frequency of 432, which I do support, the 432 tuning and frequencies. They're more effective than the old 440, but not with electronic devices, not with electric guitars or keyboards or any kind of sound machines or anything. My sound machines went into storage, gosh, like 24 years ago, something like that. You know, I posted an old video lately on Facebook, if you've seen it, when I was interviewed on CNN for about 20 minutes internationally about sound therapy and sound healing, and it was also broadcast on stations in Texas, Chicago, Los Angeles. I've done a lot of TV and radio interviews over the years, and it's only been recently that people have been acting on it. You know, back in the day when I started doing this, it was a real uphill climb. People didn't take this stuff seriously. Now they're taking it seriously and wisening up, and using sound, using toning, reading my book, Sound Medicine, and most importantly, the single most important thing you can do is get a diagnostic sound, brain sound voice analysis, and you can do that over the phone now. You know, in the first 12, 15 years of my practice, I didn't do it over the phone because I didn't trust the technology or the phones. But I subsequently found a really nice Panasonic phone and a microphone that I use. I've been doing them all day today. I just finished my last live analysis. The gal who came down from Topanga, a very smart, conscious person that's using a lot of the techniques, washing her hands, and she even videotaped it so she could remember and use it, which was a good idea. Most people record it with their phone or whatever. This is the first time she videotaped it, and we might even post that videotape on YouTube so folks can understand what's involved in a voice analysis. It's just really putting on a microphone, whether in person or on phone, and then targeting different areas of the brain with questions that bring out the full vibrational spectrum from your home office, which is your brain. And if it's in your brain, it's in your voice. And if it's dormant or missing from your brain, it'll be missing from your voice. So it's a very accurate way of doing a diagnostic sound analysis so that we can know exactly how to target the sound healing and use brainwave entrainment and put in harmonic frequencies, which I have available on my website, wayneperry.com. At the product section, you can download any of my sound healing music. I've got 4 sound healing music albums that you can avoid the CDs if you want. Like most people nowadays don't really buy my CDs, but they usually download the sound healing music CDs. There's 4 of those, and then there's 4 sound healing albums that are informational and instructional exercise CDs. So if you can't come to a workshop or whatever, one of the things you can do is either read my book. Sound Medicine has the most information in it. But if you're not a reader, if you're more auditory, then get the Secrets to Healing with Sound and Toning, which is 4 CDs or 4 downloads that you can get. The most advanced one is on the Secrets to Vocal Overtoning, and it teaches you how to create regenerative sound with your voice. And some of the other CDs talk about sound relationships. I think the 3rd one. The 2nd one in the series is an extension of the 1st one, which has a long 45-minute meditation on it. Number 2, which is called Sonic Meditation in the Healing Sanctuary. So half of it is a continuation of album number 1, and then the second half is a closed eye process, a very powerful inner meditation, and I show you how to create a healing sanctuary within yourself so that you can do your meditation with a focal point and create a healing sanctuary within consciousness. It's very specific, and when you create that healing sanctuary within yourself, within your meditation, you have a place to go and do your private, personal work, inner work, meditation and sound healing work. So that's an extension of number 1 in the 4-part series of sound therapy and the secrets to sound healing and the human voice. So the first one gets into a lot of the principles and easy exercises do pain release and how to strengthen your immune system with sound, and it ends with the chakra toning exercise, which is very powerful. And we're going to address the chakras this Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, this Saturday, March 28th, and I'll give you some tips. And I've shared the chakra chant a few times on Facebook, and some of you have it, and it's a very simple, easy to learn chant. We're going to go over it together so that you can learn how to do it. And once you learn how to do it, you can learn how to send it to your loved ones and send it to other people. It's very powerful. We've been doing it for many years. All the people that do my sound healing intensive workshop that comes with certification have used the chant and share it with others, family. You can teach it to your kids and family members. It's very simple, it's very easy, and very powerful. So we're going to go over that on Saturday, and and see what other trouble we can get into with the video on Saturday, so I can share more information, which I'll continue to do every Saturday at 6 p.m. if you're available. And keep in mind, if you're not available, you can access the videos in two other ways, either on my website, wayneperry.com, just go to the video page, and most of the old videos are on there. We're going to have to start deleting the older ones because it's getting too full. I think there's over, I don't know, around 15 videos on there now, and it gets time consuming and takes up a lot of space. So I'm going to be deleting the old ones one at a time as we add the new ones to the page, so you can catch up with the old ones and watch the new ones on the video page at wayneperry.com. And then this Saturday when we do the new video, you can see it at the Sound Therapy Center of Los Angeles on the Facebook, that's my business page for Facebook. And my timeline, Wayne Perry, usually has some of the videos for a while as well. So those are some tips to discover the new video and review the old videos if you haven't done that yet. But keep in mind, the most important thing you should do is to give me a call or an email. My email and phone number is on every page of my website, wayneperry.com. So I'm very accessible. It's easy to contact me, and there's no fear involved, you know. We can do this simply enough with an email or a phone call, and we can set up an appointment time, either live if you're in the Los Angeles area and you're not afraid to come down. You know, I see people almost every day that aren't afraid to come out, like the lady that came down from Topanga today and even videotaped it, and we had a wonderful session. But if you don't want to go out, if you're confined to your house, that's not a problem. We can do it by the telephone. Not only over the telephone, but from anywhere in the world. If you're tuning into this on Facebook from Europe or Asia or whatever, it's not a problem. I've been doing this on Facebook Messenger for about 2 years now, and I'm putting it out on video because a lot of people don't seem to be aware of what you can do. And they think, well, it's just a phone session or a marketing session or a sales pitch or something, and it's not. It's a 90-minute session that includes the diagnostic sound analysis. We chart out your specific frequency wave pattern. I go through the whole session. I do counseling with you, the interpretation of your chart, give you a toning release lesson, so how you can release blocked energy and backed up toxic frequencies that go all the way back to when you were born. You know, we do this in my workshop too, but now I'm going to start doing it online because it's difficult to heal yourself if you're carrying old patterns and old toxic energy from childhood or from the past relationships. You know, I do healing sessions and do vibrational alignments in person and align people's frequencies and release blocked energy, but I can show you how to do it yourself in the comfort of your own home. So that's what I'm going to be doing throughout this series of videos every Saturday. And then in the next couple of weeks, we're going to come online with some webinars. I mean, I used to do webinars a couple years ago, up until about a year ago, and then we had originally done teleconferences, and then we switched to webinars. But the system I was with wasn't with Zoom or some of the newer systems that do nice, crisp, clear videos, and it was kind of hard for people to log in, or getting access to it on their computers, so I've abandoned that company I used to be with, and now we're going to be doing it. I don't know, we might be doing it with Zoom, but I've found another company that seems to be similar to Zoom that we're going to be using to do some workshops. So we'll probably start off with maybe a 3-hour workshop that I'll give you a key to. When you register for the workshop, we'll be sending you a key by email so that you can access the workshop. And we'll start out probably with like a, I don't know, maybe a 2 or 3 hour workshop where you can learn a lot of important exercises and things to do. And then if the interest is there, I'm happy to share more. You know, I mean, I live to be of service. I live to give. And so I enjoy doing these workshops and these sessions, whether in person or online. So just, you know, I don't know what the interest is. If you have an interest in any particular topics you want me to address, there's so many topics to address and so much information to cover with sound healing. It's, you know, I'm kind of subjective. I kind of move as spirit moves me and kind of do a stream of consciousness, what I think some of my clients are interested in, and I share it in these videos. But if you have any ideas or questions, just shoot me an email or a phone call, and I'll be happy to discuss any topics you suggest. You know, I'm always open to suggestions, and it's such a big topic. There's a lot to discuss, and people that come to my open house and Tony groups are, you know, coming from different perspectives. Some are coming from a music perspective and want to understand the musical part, but it's not really music therapy. It's much more comprehensive and primal with sound therapy, and it's a lot more, a lot easier. You don't need to know music or understand music to work with sound therapy. So, you know, please check it out. To begin with, check out the website, wayneperry.com. Like I said, there's tons of information, articles, reviews, testimonials, free to view videos. That's the first place I would go to, you know, get some information and see how this resonates with you. But like I said, the most important thing you can do with your time and your life is to do a diagnostic sound analysis, either in person if you're in Southern California area, or over the telephone, or WhatsApp. I use Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp when I do Australia, New Zealand, Japan, you know, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan. And normally, like I said earlier, I'm in Taiwan every March around this time. People are lined up to do workshops and private sessions, and I cram in as many as I can before I head to my next destination or come back to Los Angeles. So we've postponed the Taiwan trip till September. Hopefully this crazy virus scare will be over by then, and things are already improving in China. So I had to postpone my Hong Kong and Shanghai trip from the fall to indefinitely. We don't even have a date yet for Hong Kong and Shanghai and whatever other cities. We were looking at Beijing and some other places. But all that's on hold now until I hear from my contacts in Asia. But we do have the Taiwan one scheduled for, I think it's the third week in March, September, if memory serves. But you can pull it up on my calendar on the events page of my website. You can see my upcoming calendar, upcoming workshops and travel dates. I mean, I don't really have any travel dates up now because there's no airplanes flying or anything, but I think the only thing on there is the LA workshop, May 30th and 31st, which will go if people are willing to come over. I'm open to it. I don't have any fears about this virus. So, you know, it's up to you. If you want to sign up for it at wayneperry.com on the events page, scroll down and you can do it there. If not, you know, we're working on getting it together online, but it won't be a full weekend intensive with certification. It'll be a series of smaller workshops. So I haven't worked out the certification yet, how we're going to do that. But if we start off with a 2 or 3 hour workshop, and if it goes well and people like them, which they usually do, I've done those in the past, then we'll continue with different topics and include all the topics of the weekend intensive, and we'll do them online. And when I was doing it a couple years ago, it wasn't online, it was in person, but we had shorter workshops, and they were like, I don't know, I remember now, if it was 4 or 5 hour workshops we were doing on every other Sunday. And there were 8 in order to get certified and learn enough to do some sound healing professionally, you had to do eight of them. I don't know how it's going to play out online. Maybe it'll be 8, maybe it'll be 10. It's hard to say at this point, but it will be available. We will be doing them online with possibly Zoom or one of these other companies I'm checking out to get the best one that has the easiest access and good fidelity, and uh, we'll work out the details and I'll let you know. But anyway, I want to bring this to a close and just continue to invite you this Saturday at 6 p.m. for that. And before I go, I'd like to at least should give you something. And one thing I'd like to share with you that we might not get to Saturday when we talk about the chakras is a preliminary exercise called the siren vowel exercise. This is a very important exercise that any voice coach or singing teacher will know. They won't likely call it the siren vowel exercise. I call it that because it sounds kind of like a siren when you do it, but it's just using the vowel sounds, which are the most powerful way to move energy. I've already shared with you to use the vowels and moving energy if you're stuck in traffic. Well, use the chakra chant. If you haven't learned that, we'll go over that on Saturday, so I can teach you that. But in the meantime, you can, well, there's not a lot of traffic out there to get stuck in with people staying home, but for future reference, and if you do have to go out and for grocery shopping or whatever, use your car, maybe you're not stressed by traffic, but you may be stressed by the virus and so many other things going on in this chaotic society we're living in. So you can use the vowels and just go A, E, Ah, O, U with some volume while you're driving, and that will help release stress. If you put some energy in what I call VVB, vowels, volume, and breath, into your toning, you can release some energy and some stress that way. It's a very simple, easy thing you can do at home, or you can do it while you're driving. Just do the vowel sounds and go A, E, Ah, O, U, A, E, Ah, O, U. And it's just a general exercise, but it does work. Now, if you want to, again, be more powerful and specific to release specific pain or specific blockages in the body, whether it's pain, whether it's a chronic illness, whether it's a tumor, anything that's going on, you can release. But to be more powerful and specific, you really need to do the diagnostic sound analysis, at least by phone. If not in person, you can easily book a session with me by phone. It takes 90 minutes. It's only $185 to do the diagnostic sound analysis. People ask me about the price. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. The sound therapy is probably the most effective holistic modality I know of, and I've tried them all. I mean, I've done acupuncture, homeopathy, aromatherapy, you name it, I've done it over the years. But the most powerful, empowering modality I know of to strengthen your immune system, bring your body into harmony and your frequencies into balance and harmony and resonance is with a simple 90-minute diagnostic sound, brain sound analysis. Whether it's in person here in Los Angeles or over the phone, you can do it either way. And just, contact me if you don't have another contact that's a certified sound therapist. Definitely do that. Then you'll have your own chart. You'll have instructions and guidelines to work with sound on a daily basis, a weekly basis, depending on your schedule and how much time you have. In fact, some of it doesn't even take any time. You can do the listening and the toning while you're doing other things, while you're on the computer. I mean, what more can you ask for? A lot of these modalities take a lot of time studying information and exercises and practicing. We only have so much free time that we're not working or occupied with family or other responsibilities and obligations. So, this is the easiest and most powerful thing I'm aware of is vocal toning, the ultimate healing instrument, right under your nose. Use it or lose it, as they say. So, my book, if you're a reader, my book Sound Medicine has 48 exercises. It's a wealth of information. It's the complete guide to healing with sound and toning. So I've got a lot of tools out there. I've got CDs and downloads you can learn from. The book, Sound Medicine, is probably the most comprehensive if you're a reader. But if you're not a reader and you tend to put things on the shelf and not get back to them, then use the downloads, CDs or downloads, and get the information that way. There's a lot of useful information you can learn. But the ultimate, the most important thing, whatever you do or don't procrastinate. Do a diagnostic brain voice sound analysis. Don't leave anything to chance, and then that will give you all the guidance you need for using sound and sound therapy for the rest of your life. So anyway, I said I'd give you a little siren vowel exercise before I go, and you can do this to. It's probably the single most powerful exercise for strengthening your voice. So if you're a speaker, a singer, anybody that uses their voice, use the the siren vowel exercise. It's very effective in a lot of ways. Like I said, voice coaches that are worth their salt and that are good use the siren vowel exercise. They probably don't call it that. I don't know what they might call it, just a vocal exercise or whatever, but it uses the whole range of the human voice. So that's why it's the single most powerful exercise for strengthening your voice and improving your voice. It's not the most powerful exercise for healing. That I'll have to go over with you, in the exercises and the upcoming online workshops, and we'll share some of it with the chakras on Saturday at 6 p.m. on Saturday. I'll share some of the chakra healing tips and exercise with you. But right now, I just want to share the siren vowel exercise, which is the single most powerful vocal exercise for using your voice, strengthening your voice. If you're a speaker, a singer, a toner, sound healer, anybody that's using sound and using the voice, which is the ultimate healing instrument. Don't waste your time with the other instruments. I mean, they can be helpful if they're acoustic, but they're only about a third as effective as the human voice. So get used to using your voice and rid yourself of the fear surrounding the voice. There's a lot of fear around the fifth chakra and the human voice. So, overcome your fears with love, and that's another great benefit of toning. It's another act of self-loving, of loving yourself. When you tone your chakras or tone with your voice, it's very supportive, it's fun, it's easy, so why not? So anyway, here's the siren vowel exercise. We take the vowels that we learn, we've all learned, at least in this country, A, E, I, O, U. You eliminate the diphthongs of I and U. Those are double vowels or diphthongs. We already have A. We have A, we have E. The third vowel is I. That's a diphthong. You don't want to be toning I. That's not a pure vowel. So we already have E. So just snip off the E at the end of I. If you slow down I, it's like I. Okay, so we don't need the E, just do ah. So we got A, E, ah. Then the fourth vowel is O. That's a pure vowel, so that one's good. Use that one. The fifth vowel, though, is another diphthong. U, if you slow down U, it's E-U. So it's E and U together. And again, we already have the E. See, this is why E is the most powerful vowel. We'll talk about on Saturday. And that's why E is the sound that we use for the upper chakras, because it's almost omnipresent. If you're from the Midwest like I am, it creeps into your vowels when you say, I'm going to go to the bank. It's like that Midwestern accent kind of squeezes the A's into E's. So that E is like an omnipresent vowel. That's why we use it for the sixth chakra and for the upper chakras, because it's the most transcendent vowel. But you don't want to just isolate single vowels. There's a purpose for that. If you have individual chakra issues, you can tone the chakras individually. And I can talk a little bit about that Saturday as well. But for this exercise, we just want to use the pure vowels. And that's important, whether you're working with the chakras or working with release work or any way. Plus, not only that, but all the overtones and harmonics. The regenerative sound of vocal harmonics and overtones are within and between the vowel sounds. So keep that in mind. They're within and between the vowel sounds. So the more you practice the vowels, the more the harmonics will start to develop. And I've got 20 exercises for teaching harmonics and overtones, how to bring them out in your voice. I've taught it to many people all over the world, in China, Europe, Asia, every major city in the United States. And so make use of the ultimate healing instrument sitting right under your nose. So we're going to start with the A, the first vowel. Remember, the toning vowels, or sacred vowels as I like to call them, are A, E, A, O, U. There's another one that we use for the first chakra that, again, I'll share with you Saturday. But I want to keep this short and sweet. So, and we're just going to start with the A sound. And this siren vowel exercise is very simple. You just take a deep diaphragmatic breath. Make sure you're breathing diaphragmatically without lifting your shoulders or breathing improperly. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath, and we're going to tone just the A sound, the A vowel, as we go through the breathing. Inhaling up to this point here, and then exhaling down. So imagine your breath is coming in from the soles of your feet, coming up through your body, up through your chakras to the third eye center, and then as you exhale, you continue with the vowel. You don't interrupt it. You're going to do it both through your as you're doing the A vowel sound. We're going to start with the A, and it sounds like this. So I'll demonstrate it, and then we'll do it together. So take a deep diaphragmatic breath, and then and that's all there is to it. And you do it in one breath. Now, if you ran out of breath as you practice this, there's one little tip to remember, and that's if you're breathing, well, obviously you're breathing. The breath is the life force energy, the prana. You know, this pranayama yoga. It's very powerful. We take it for granted, but it's very powerful. So when you incorporate it with your sound and your toning, and eventually overtoning and harmonics, it's the most powerful thing you can do. There's no musical instrument or any instrument that can even come close to the human voice in terms of making regenerative sound. So, but the other key is learning your frequency, and you need to do a diagnostic sound analysis to know where to direct the sound. Because you want to be specific to the points, to the chakras or organs or pain that you have, whatever it is in the body. We want to identify it and use it properly. So that's why the sound analysis is so vital and important. But anyway, back to the exercise. So if you did the A sound, let's do it again together. Just join me with the A sound. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath, and let's breathe in and so one full breath from the bottom to the top of your voice and then back down to the bottom in one breath. That's the exercise, and you just do this with every vowel. And then you do the E, the same thing. Take a deep breath with me. Let's do the E sound. And the same thing. So you do it with the A, with the E, with the Ah, with the O, with the Oo. You do it with all the vowels. A, E, Ah, O, Oo. And so that's the siren vowel exercise. And it sounds a little like a siren when you're going up and down. It's kind of sounds a little like a siren. That's why I call it the siren vowel exercise. But it doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is to do it. Don't procrastinate. Don't be lazy. Use your voice every day and tone. You'll be all the better for it, and you'll thank me and thank yourself later for the discipline to do it. So, but keep in mind, these are a couple of tips regarding this. If you run out of breath, if you didn't get your breath, if you got back to the lower part, and you run out of breath before you get low, get down to the bottom, then that means one of two things. Either you didn't take a deep enough diaphragmatic breath, you took a shallow breath, or the second option is you went too slow. And that's it. So just make sure you're getting a deep diaphragmatic breath, and make sure you don't go too slow or go too fast. And you're good to go. And after you practice this a couple of times, it'll be a piece of cake. It'll be easy. Okay, so just do the siren vowel sound like that with the A or the Ah or the Oo or the E, whatever vowel you're on. And if you have breath left over, so those are the only two anomalies, so to speak, is if you run out of breath before you get to the end, or if you have breath left over. And I already explained, if you run out of breath, either you didn't get a good deep diaphragmatic breath, or you didn't, you just went too slow. You didn't go quick enough. But now, if you have breath left over and sound left over, then that means you just went too fast. That's all. So, like I said, you do it 2-3 times, and it'll sync up. You'll be and train perfectly, and you'll get just the right amount of time, like anything, with a little practice. And this is an easy exercise. So, like I said, we just do the vowel. Let's uh, uh, do one more. We don't have to do all of them. I want to keep this video short. We're already up to like 40 minutes. Every time I want to do a 20-minute video, it turns into 40 minutes. I want to do a 40-minute, it turns in over an hour. So I gotta discipline myself to keep these videos shorter. But anyway, so again, just take a deep breath. We'll just do the ah sound. We'll do one more, and just take a deep breath and go from the lowest part of your voice. And one other tip I want to give the ladies, make sure that you start at the lower part of your voice when you start and when you get at the end. Get down deep, because you're not used to being deep in the chest voice. Ladies are a bit more in their head voice by natural, by gender, but or even people with a high voice. But you want to go low if you're a lady, and with men it's like the opposite. You want to make sure you get high enough. I get guys in my workshop and they lock up in the chest voice and they can't get into the head voice. They go ah, and that's as high as they can go. They can't go ah and get into the falsetto voice. You need to use the full voice. And so with ladies, I try to encourage you to be very aware of the lower part of your voice when you're starting and ending toning. Get deep enough. This will really not only expand your vocal range, but it'll give you the vibrational benefits as well when you do this regularly. And with men, don't be too, in your macho male energy. Open up. There's nothing feminine about using your head voice. It's just, listen to those falsetto singers from Smokey Robinson to The Weeknd, to whoever you listen to. It's just, get into the head voice, and but the more you do it, the more you'll strengthen it, and you'll feel more confident about it. So that's an important tip I wanted to include with this. Ladies, start and end low, and just get a good enough breath that you can, sustain it. And you men, practice using your head voice and the falsetto voice, whatever you call it, falsetto or head voice, doesn't matter. Just do it. Okay, so one last time, let's just do the ah sound. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath and get down nice and deep, and that'll really ground you. When you end with a grounding tone, this always grounds you, which is another tip. After doing toning, any kind of toning, always end with a low tone. Always do a few and get down to the first chakra and ground yourself, because sound healing and toning with the voice, it can space you out a little bit. You're accessing inner very powerful energies and upper chakra energy, and you just don't finish and then jump in your car and go to work or something. You could you're more likely to have an accident if you don't ground yourself, and if you have responsibilities to your job or your children or whatever it is. Always take a few moments to ground yourself after you meditate and after you tone. The ideal is to do toning first, because I always do toning before I meditate, because it really concentrates your energy, really empowers you, and connects you with your sound. And when you feel complete, whether you're doing chakra toning or chakra chanting or the siren vowel sound or any of the many exercises that I teach in my book, Sound Medicine, whatever you do, always do grounding tone. It doesn't have to be a long time. It could be like 30 seconds or so, a minute, whatever. We're all busy people. We're all got a lot of stuff on our schedule. And that's one of the wonderful things about toning, is we can do it while we're on the computer. We can do it while we're driving. You don't have to interrupt what you're doing. There are a few things that might take a little practice. If you're doing some specific exercises, toning release work, you want to focus and concentrate your energy on it. But most things, it doesn't take up a lot of time. You need to take time to do a diagnostic brain voice sound analysis. But that's once you get the tools and learn the exercises and what to do, you're on your own. It just takes a little self-discipline to do the practice every day, but rely on yourself, not other people. Rely on your own experience. Just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, and just be wary of people, that are calling themselves sound healers. that aren't really sound healers, that may be giving you sound that you have an excess of in your brainwave pattern, and that can exacerbate any chronic weaknesses you have, and you don't want to make things worse. Do it properly. Learn how to do it properly, and you're good to go. It's not that complicated. Use your voice, and you can do this on your own. Okay, so I'm going to take leave of your senses here. I want to thank you for joining me. This was just a reminder to join us on Saturday, but I squeezed in some tips, the siren vowel exercise, which I hope you'll use. It's the best exercise for strengthening your voice, for singing, chanting, toning, whatever. So use it for that purpose. And then use some of the other healing exercises in my book, Sound Medicine, and the ones I've already gone over in my videos that you can find on Facebook or on my website, wayneperry.com, for free. Just get, study the videos and learn some of these exercises, and they'll really help you and support you, especially during this time that we want to raise our frequency and our immune system to the highest point possible and not get involved in things that take us away from our purpose or take us out, to fear, love, God is love, and put love first. So I'm just going to end this video like I ended the last one and say, love you I, because when we say that, instead of I love you, we put God first, we put love first, and say love. And then we put the beloved, I put you second, and I put myself last. So I say to you, I will see you hopefully on Saturday at 6 p.m. And until we touch again, tone daily, and love you I.